Hello out there. I'm Chris Bisha of 360degreesound.com. It's my pleasure to welcome in I Ya Toyah, an artist that Regen magazine described as a one-woman musical army waging a powerful electro-industrial campaign. A native of Poland, her chosen name, I Ya Toyah, is derived from the Polish language. Now based in Chicago, she combines elements of industrial, pop, electro, darkwave, and alternative rock styles, showcasing intensely personal lyric themes. Fiercely committed to her art and activism, her career has been a model of the DIY ethos. She's toured extensively with her riveting live show and released a series of EPs in recent years. Now, I Ya Toyah is set to release a full-length album entitled Drama. She worked closely with industrial OGs stabbing Westward's Walter Flakus, creating the tracks for the new recording. Drama is set for an October 4th release, and you can find the video for the new track Denial on YouTube right now. Thanks a lot for joining me, I Ya Toyah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. I mentioned the denial video. I love the simple intensity of that video. It enhances the native intensity of the track, and it tells a little story of its own. Tell me about creating that piece.
Well, so, the song itself, it talks about human condition and kind of like dealing with our own demons. And I was thinking for the longest time how to present it in the visual form, but also not to repeat visual creative choices that I've done before. And this kind of idea came to mind, the puzzles. And together with Alex Jarek, who is the video person I work with, video creative, he was actually like very, very strongly influencing this whole idea. So together we combined the forces and then brought into the spectrum amazing and very talented makeup artist, Ali Hendron, who then created this piece. It took almost 3 hours to do the makeup. But I think it really showcased things the way I wanted to with this particular song. And yeah, the video is doing very well. And it released in July. So now I already have 2 more videos out.
Ah, excellent.
For the
Well,
front single and then for Afterlight single, which is my latest, that just dropped a week ago, 2 weeks ago,
mhm.
almost, yeah, a week ago. So yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned the makeup that you wear in the video, that puzzle-like makeup. It actually gives you a sort of superhero presence.
Cool.
And there's nothing I like better than a superhero origin story. So can you share with me a little bit of your backstory?
Oh my God, my backstory is super long, super crazy. I come from Poland,
Mhm.
but I got to America and I figured I think I want to live here, just because the pace of life and the whole multicultural aspect of well, Chicago in particular, that's where I reside, but
Mhm.
just American culture in general. And not that I do not miss Europe and I'm strongly connected to my roots, but I enjoy being here through better or worse, because obviously, we go through different times in this country. Not always very easy for mental health and everything associated. But,
Yeah.
I always believe that it seems like grass is greener somewhere else, but we got to make the best of what we have. And so
Yes.
I'm trying to make the best of what I can do here in America. As a backstory, I've always loved music. I've always been strongly connected to music, started musical education at a very young age in a music institute, only to be interrupted by a kind of tragic accident that put me in coma for 3 months. And of course, took my musical education far, far, far away from me because the recovery took forever. And I had to kind of focus on that first. And
Yes.
music wasn't just the thing that my parents would allow and my health at that time. But this was always with me. So, of course, you can see it today as a grown up, I'm doing it. I don't think there is another life choice for me, honestly. That's the passion I have. That's the thing I want to do. I think I was meant to do. And yeah. So
Yes.
More or less, that's I Ya Toyah for you. I Ya Toyah, it's just me. It's just me because I perform on my own. I oversee all the project, all the, activities of my musical act on my own. I have amazing team, but still.
Yeah. And I did read that I Ya Toyah in Polish is, just me or this is me. Is that obviously that's a deliberate choice to
Yeah.
communicate that to your fans?
Yeah, I thought, the best way to communicate my connection to my roots and my Polish being is to incorporate it in my musical name. So I Ya Toyah just made the most sense.
Hmm. Yeah, and you've talked about, the amount of work that you do on your own career. So you've been characterized as a leading artistic voice of the DIY movement. It's almost a necessity in the business these days, it seems. My wife and I were just in Chicago over Labor Day weekend for the two Pearl Jam shows that were at
Nice.
Wrigley Field, and I've been impressed with a band who was as big as Pearl Jam at one time, how they have in their way adopted a DIY sort of ethos in continuing to connect with their fans and make great music that connects with perhaps a smaller group,
Yeah.
um, but still fiercely committed, that fan base. So what does DIY mean to you?
It's literally as it is, do it yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
almost like if you don't do it yourself, then is it going to be what you want it to be? So again, I mentioned at this point of my career, I have an amazing team that is the backbone of my activities and helps me tremendously complete multiple tasks. But my workload is bigger than ever every day. Just because of that, if you look at the growth, you have to, when you want to be in control of your own artistic choices, which is everything for a person like me, it begins with music, which I write, compose, produce. Well, I do have co-producers, people with this particular record. It's Walter Flakus of Stubbing Westward, whom I adore, who's extremely talented and just absolutely elevated the quality
Hmm.
of the record. I would never be able to achieve the heights that this record is.
Hmm.
However, I pride myself in being able to say that I am doing all those things.
Hmm.
Um, And then, obviously, all the choices, visual choices, aesthetic choices, touring choices. I mean, it's never ending. And then all the
Hmm.
marketing, all the how do you market yourself? Well, I'm there all the time. You're probably tired of seeing my face. But that's the way I do it, because I
Hmm.
don't have a big label that supports me. I
Yeah.
actually started my own label
Mm.
last year, Femme Fatale Records.
Femme fatale.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
that support is to just basically, help me organize my legal matters, represent me in times where I need representation.
Hmm.
I didn't want to sign uh, to another record label just because I'm already doing all the work. So I don't say no. I never say no to anything, but I would like to see the offer that actually gives me something I'm not doing in the bigger spectrum, because so far it's just been like, well, but I'm already doing that. So I don't want to sign just to be signed. I actually pride myself in not being signed.
Yes, I think that is a point of pride.
Yeah.
Um, and the music business has changed so much in recent decades. Even in the 90s, I and some of my friends, who were aspiring musicians, we wanted to get signed. We wanted to get a deal with somebody, and then obviously the rise of the internet and social media has made it more possible for artists and bands to, kind of do it themselves.
Yeah.
But success has been, defined differently now than it was in the past, in the A&R era with labels. So, how do you define success for yourself in today's industry?
I guess the biggest definition of success for me would be, the greatest description would be the happiness.
Mm.
So this kind of like a sense of fulfillment that I feel when I wake up, and the sense of peace that I experience when I go to sleep. That kind of, I think, sums up the success. It's not in things. it's an experience. It's in that feeling, and that emotion. And I feel like I am chasing that, and I often feel that. And I would add sense of wonder. So like this constant hunger. A lot of people ask me, how do you not burn out? Well, I take breaks. I don't burn out because I can't burn out, because if I burn out, then I wouldn't exist. So, but that sense of wonder drives me, there's always this hunger, always this curiosity, what I can do, what can be created, what's next. And I think those things define success for me, that happiness, that internal peace. This is success.
Mhm. Yeah, and it really seems to come through in the music that you create and the visuals that you create as well. And it also seems to be very in keeping with some of your sort of activist work that you do. Mental health, I know, is something that's very important to you. Can you tell me a little bit about the activist facet of I Ya Toyah's career?
Well, there are two of them. And I definitely do not limit myself, because I feel like there is so much to do in this world. Anything I can help with to make it a better place, I definitely sign up for. Uh, with this being said, mental health in particular became actually a driving force of starting I Ya Toyah. My mom committed suicide, and she has been such a dear friend of mine. She was such an amazing and driven person, and it took me by a great surprise. And after that loss, I couldn't process it. It was so hard. I think when you are a suicide loss survivor, it never ends. You process it for the rest of your life. So that's something that I have and I deal with every day. It only makes me stronger, and it only makes me more driven today, when I am more aware of, my feelings about it, and also do the activism. So as you see, the therapy for me as well to do this, but the suicide prevention definitely comes from that. I figured that I just have to give my mom's death some kind of meaning. Like, she can't just be gone. It makes no sense at all. So, I guess she's alive through me today, through my music, through the conversation that I strongly encourage, not just through my music and my lyrics, but through the actual conversation, through actual activism. I've been, through the first years of I Ya Toyah, I've been working with American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and donating 15% of the proceeds to them. Recently, I started my own kind of like a sub chapter of I Ya Toyah, which is like a charity. I started producing 988 crisis line bracelets,
Okay.
and I basically give them away for free to anyone who requests them via email. You can send me email at ayatoyah@gmail.com with your address, and I will send you bracelets. Uh, I also bring them on tour, and I just give them away during shows. And that's just kind of like this point, let's not keep stigma, over the subject that we need to talk about. We need to talk about it. And those bracelets are like a loud scream. Here you go, wear it and talk about it. So that is, one of the things that I do, that I can't not do. It's kind of in me. So it's just how it is.
Yes.
The other one is, of course, animals, and that my dog Benek is a face of, animal wellness awareness.
Can you spell your dog's name for me, please?
Benek, Benek.
Benek.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So I figured, how else to promote, a message to like kind of do animal wellness awareness, if not with the cute face like his. I think it's a little easier than showing the drastic, dark footage. I think it's very discouraging, but it's real.
Yes.
But I just think, like, his face is a little easier to help digest the dark stuff that is happening, and kind of like just increase sensitivity. Honestly, it's like little things every day we can do to make things better for life around us that is not human. And
Yes. No, I really appreciate that, and it's really important that people know that you're not just an artist making music, that you're an artist working for wellness as well, and some things I think that a lot of us are also, very concerned about, mental health in particular, and of course animal rights too, who
yeah,
don't have a voice. So that's
exactly.
great that you're giving Bannock a voice.
Oh, he has a voice, trust me.
That's
The
right.
louder.
You have actual words. Yeah. Well, let's talk right. In my case, it's cats. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
cats. I love cats.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really bad.
Yes. Animals are wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's talk some more about the new album.
Mhm.
One of the aspects of industrial club music that has kind of kept me from truly embracing the style is that it tends to kind of lack melody and groove. Um, And having said that, I'm really digging drama. I got a chance to listen to it prior to the release. And from the lead track, Afterlight, which you mentioned, there's a strong groove and melodic sense to the tunes. The songs, they're hooky, but they're not calculated. And the dynamics are great. I really love the dynamics of all the tunes on the record. So how does drama represent the next step on your artistic journey?
Well, so I can be very unpredictable when it comes to my choices because I go with the flow. I really don't do trends. I don't really enjoy trends per se. I go with kind of like the instinctual, almost like survival stuff, something that's in me and I need to take out. So funnily, as a boss lady of I Ya Toyah and all things related, I don't have that much control because it's this that controls it and this. Hopefully, it shines through this record. That authenticity of what I try to say through my music, but well, this is definitely the record that represents my roots.
Yeah.
I've always loved alternative rock music, metal music, all the kind, and of course, industrial,
Mhm.
electronic. And I think this record combines all of those styles with this cool, like a grittier, a little bit of a more alt rock influence. And it's in big parts thanks to Walter, who, of course, as a stubbing Westward, magician, added his flair, and also prior to even him entering my studio to listen to my demos, when we decided we're going to do it together, my songwriting style was highly influenced by the fact that he will be working on this record with
Okay.
me. So I kind of approached it like, okay, he's going to be the one listening. And that just opened, it was like the easiest thing because this was so much in me. I've always wanted to do this. I feel like drama has been waiting for many years to become. And suddenly this opportunity happened and it just poured out of me. So, that being said, I'm not sure what next step will be for I Ya Toyah. I'm focusing on this record right now as it is. I want to drop it, which is very soon, and then see what the world thinks about it. I want to tour with this record. Definitely want to do some shows,
Great.
perform the new songs, and then we'll see. I mean, I'm a genre bending artist, so I don't know.
Right.
I have ideas. I have hunger to go back to the studio. Actually, yesterday it hit me that I have to go down to the studio downstairs and start working on something new. But I pace myself. So because right now I'm so busy with this record and touring plans and all the things that are cooking up, it's a lot of things that are happening.
That's
And
great.
it's very exciting, but I also feel this like urge. So I don't know, but whatever it will be, it probably will not be the same.
No, for what it's worth, "Dream Not to Dream" is my favorite track on the new record.
This
I love the music, and I also love that notion of dreaming not to dream about someone or something.
yeah.
That's that sentiment really, it caught me the first time I listened to it. I was like, wait a minute. I listened to it again. I'm like, yeah, I get that. I get that.
Oh,
We talk
awesome.
about the mind, always working. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome that this song connects with you. I'm glad. I'm glad. This was yeah, it's a very special song for me in particular, like, from the album, songwriting wise, performance wise too, because I usually use my power vocal more than anything else. And in this song, I just whisper sang
yeah,
until the chorus, but it's just very delicate.
yeah.
Very, um,
Yeah, it's a notable shift, which is a nice contrast to the really powerful stuff that's all throughout this record.
yeah.
Really, really powerful record. Are you an auteur? Or, I mean, I know you're writing and producing. Are you also playing all the instruments as well?
Yes, I'm playing all the instruments. So when I perform, it's a one-woman army show, as people call it, and
Yeah.
it's very intense. When you come to my shows, you probably see me sweating at the end of my set,
Hmm.
just like
Do you
I'm
bring do you bring other musicians on the road with you, or are you up there by yourself?
up there by myself.
Oh
So
wow, that's great, man.
from keyboards, I use pedal boards, loopers, trigger. Uh, Buttons and guitar, and then the
Uh,
vocal. I
Oh,
have my
that's cool.
own live show and I have my live show visuals as well. This is kind of my musicians, my lights and the background visuals
Mhm.
that we create together with Joel of Lumbra Productions,
Yeah.
friend for many years. And, yeah, he's been, Lumbra Productions, by the way, has been with me since day one of I Ya Toyah, helping me create visuals. And yeah,
It's
it's just,
great. It's a strong enhancement to the music that you're creating. Um, so I gotta see your live show. I hope you come through Detroit when you tour.
why don't you come to Cold Waves Festival? It's literally in 2 weeks in Chicago. And
Okay.
I am very excited because I am performing.
Oh, great.
This is
Excellent. Well,
Metro
definitely keep an
Chicago.
eye out for where you're going to be playing.
Yes,
So,
please.
yeah, you're working with a lot of heavyweights in addition to Walter Flakus from Stabbing Westward. You worked with artists associated with Nine Inch Nails and Depeche Mode, Cocteau Twins, and other the great industrial greats. But who are some of your contemporaries, new artists that you think we should check out?
Oh, well, I love listening to Papi these days.
Mhm.
Some of her darker tunes, more industrial tunes, are really just like so good.
Mhm.
Bad Omen and Sleep Token are like my driving music. So if I'm in the car, that's what I do. Yeah, from the newer acts, those are like my new choices right now, just like spinning right this moment. Other than that, oh my gosh, I mean, there is so much, so much. Cloud is like this amazing electronic music, industrial, almost cyberpunk producer that I am obsessed with these days as well. So those are things in my ears. It's interesting. Like a lot of people say there is nothing new that can happen in the music. And I'm a strong opponent to that. I don't believe this. I think we can continue bringing new styles, new music sounds and mixtures into this world, which is
Yeah.
very,
Yeah, and I think the way you're approaching it by melding a lot of different styles together
yeah,
is a way that we create something new, and
exactly.
you certainly have done that. So I
Right.
really appreciate you sharing some of your time with me, and I
Thank
wish
you
you a
for
lot of
having
success with the new album. So she's I Ya Toyah, and her new recording is Brahma, and set for release on October 4th. So check out Denial, the video on YouTube right now, and apparently there's a couple new videos that you can check out as well. So I'm Chris Bisha of 360 Degree Sound. Thanks for listening to music from all angles.
Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you, I Ya Toyah.